Right, here we go again. Hello, my name is Nathan and I'm hungry again. Welcome back to another episode of Uncut. Today we're going to be making some pesto pasta. It's going to be fucking delicious. Now, obviously in the last video I took you outside, we had a little session out there. It was lovely. Today it's inside, it's late at night, the sun's not out, not barbecuing, so we're indoors and we're going to make some pesto pasta. Now, I've got a new pan. Let me show you. Ta-da! This is my new pan. I am very happy with it. Now, don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the pan giveaway that I announced 2 videos ago. That is going to be happening and I will be announcing the winner at the end of this video. So, stick around or just fucking fast forward and skip the video and see if you win. Yeah, so let's make some pesto. Alright, so as I previously explained, I don't have the great kitchen angles here. I only have this one angle, so I'm going to zoom in. And I'm just going to show you what's going on here. This is a pestle and mortar. Now most people will actually use a blender to make their pesto. I don't want to do that today because I have access to a pestle and mortar. Don't get me wrong, if you don't have one, no problem, you can just use a blender. I just prefer this because, you know, we get more of a thick, lumpy, just natural sort of pesto. A rustic version, and that is what I want today. So, we need garlic. Now this is my garlic, I haven't peeled it. Let me peel it. Knife. Now, this is sort of like a recipe just for a rough amount of pesto. You can keep this pesto for like 1 to 2 days in your fridge, maybe a bit longer, maybe 3 days. The oil will sort of help preserve it, but it will start to brown eventually. So try to make your pesto fresh in it. I'm struggling peeling garlic here, that's okay. Now, most people would probably use around 2 cloves of garlic for this amount of recipe, but that's actually a bad clove. But remember, the rule with garlic, always double it, because more garlic, more delicious. So I'm gonna use like 3 or 4 today, if I have another one. That's a bad one, that's a bad one. All right, hang on, let me get one more. I like garlic, so we're gonna have a very garlicky pesto today. Like I said, don't worry if you don't have access to a pestle and mortar. You can just use like a little hand blender or you know, your normal sort of blender. Doesn't matter. I just feel like a blender would, you know, it pulses it a bit more, it refines everything, and I just prefer the more rustic version we can do with this. So, 4 cloves of garlic. Actually, I'm just gonna remove these little ends. Now the thing with the pestle and mortar is, we wanna start adding the ingredients in slowly and work them in. Now the garlic, we don't want big lumps of garlic in your mouth because that's not very pleasant. I mean, unless you're a big fan of garlic. So we're gonna work the garlic first with a little bit of salt and almost create a paste. Because if we just add the basil in now, we're gonna start to bruise the basil and rip it down, and the garlic wouldn't have been broken down altogether. So we're gonna start working this garlic now. Just to help break down this garlic, we're gonna add a little bit of salt. Not enough to season it yet, just so it starts to work in and help break it down and make more of a little paste, I guess. So, garlic, we're just gonna crush it. Now, I know this says uncut, but you don't really wanna see me crush garlic for the next minute and a half. So, we're probably going to do a cut here at some point when we start adding other ingredients. That salt is already bringing out some of the moisture. Alright, at the same time, I'm also going to add a little secret ingredient. Not really secret, I'm going to let you know, it's a red chili. It's a dried one. Don't tell anybody about this, it's not traditional, obviously, you know. I'm going to do it because no one's here to stop me, but we're going to add 1 dried red chili because I quite fancy it. Here's my little chili. We're just gonna take that top off. And just to help break it down, we're gonna cut it into a few little segments. And of course, we do want the seeds in there as well, even though most of them ended up on the fucking table. All right, chili's in, and we're just gonna break that down as well. Because I want a little bit of spice today. Again, not traditional, optional, I want it. So as I was breaking this down, I just realized I forgot to do the most important step. The first step. Toast your pine nuts. I got a bit carried away filming. I haven't filmed in like a week or two, so I just wanted to press record and start filming. Toast your pine nuts first. We're gonna add these straight to my big sexy new pan. Probably not very necessary, but I wanna use it. So get this on the heat. Get your pan nice and hot, but medium hot almost. You don't wanna burn these pine nuts. Straight in. And keep these moving. We want them lightly golden brown, but they will catch very quickly. So, that makes a horrible noise. We're gonna use our fingers for now, until it gets a bit too hot. But like I said, this will catch very easily. So they won't take too long. Get them a little bit golden brown. And the residual heat, once they stop cooking, is actually gonna carry on cooking them. So we wanna take them off before they're too dark. We don't want them burned. So yeah, I'll cut back to you once they're done so I can show you what they look like when they're golden brown. Alright, so these pine nuts are done now. They're nice and golden brown, and before they get too dark, we're going to transfer them to this plate to cool down, as we don't want to add the hot pine nuts straight to this, as it's almost going to start cooking it, and the heat could actually ruin the basil we add later. So allow these to cool down for at least 5 minutes. Alright, so my garlic and my chili has been nicely crushed now, and to this we're just going to add our basil and pine nuts, some Parmigiano Reggiano or Pecorino. I'm going to do 50-50 today because, again, I can. No one's here to stop me. We're going to add the basil, the cheese, the pine nuts, and then we're going to start adding olive oil and sort of emulsifying it all together. I mean, it's not an emulsifier, it's full of fat and oils, but start to combine them all together, ready to cook with our pasta. Yeah, I haven't actually got my basil ready. It's in the fridge. I need to pick it, so that's cool. I should probably do that. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is actually going to be a spinach and basil pesto because I've got spinach I need to use up. So we're going to cook some spinach in this pan again. This pan's going to get used a lot. In this pan, previously before we add the pesto, then the pasta, just because, you know, more green, more delicious, more flavor, more nutrition, more health. Because I've been partying a little bit recently, so my body needs some nutrition. I'm gonna pick this basil down. You don't wanna watch me do that. And then we're gonna start ripping it up and adding it to this, because I feel like if we add it in whole leaf, there's more chance of it bruising and not breaking down quick enough before the bruising happens. Again, the next shot is gonna be me actually ready. All right, so we have some basil, or as someone in the comments gonna say, basil. I don't care. It's a delicious herb. Very strong. Is it basil? Is it basil? Basil? No. Either way, we're gonna make a fucking delicious little situation here. So, basil, whatever the fuck you wanna call it. We're gonna rip it. Just to help the process of actually breaking this down a bit easier. I wanna work in little portions as well. Because if I add all this now, there's gonna be no room for maneuver within the pestle and mortar. So this is gonna bruise it, and to help loosen that up so we can sort of start making this into a mixture, we're gonna slowly start to drizzle in some olive oil. This is a very good quality olive oil. I'm gonna need around 100-150 ml here. I've got a little measuring thing on the side, so I know where I'm starting now and where I shouldn't really go past. So over the whole process of making this, I should be going through about this much. So a little drizzle now, just to help the process. And then halfway through, we're gonna start adding the pine nuts. And as we're breaking down the pine nuts are gonna help break down the basil. So we wanna be doing an array of motions here. We wanna be crushing, but not too heavily, otherwise you're really gonna bruise it. And the twirly one, and that's going to break it into the sides. Alright, so like I said, slowly start incorporating this. We're going to rip some more little bits in. Now, this is a much longer way of doing it, I admit, and I recommend you just fucking blitz it, blend it, whatever, because that's going to be a lot easier. I just wanted to do it like this because, well, I don't know, I wanted to use my pestle and mortar, to be honest. that is pretty much the sole reason. I think we will get a better product with this. It is gonna take a fuckload more time, but I have time. And if you got this far into the video, give me a like, because it would really help. And we've just hit 1 million views this month on the channel so far, which is incredible. We're over 20k now. So yeah, thank you very much. I promise you a big exciting video coming very soon. I've got some of the boys coming up. We're gonna be doing a big barbecue. Get the camera out, we'll film it. There'll be 4 of us, we'll have some fun. All right, so these pine nuts have actually cooled down a bit now, relatively, so we're gonna start adding these in slowly as well. And that is actually because it's coarse and it's hard, obviously compared to a herb leaf, they're gonna help break down the basil as well. So this is when things start to incorporate. I haven't actually grated my Parmesan and my Pecorino yet. We're gonna do that at the end, and we're just gonna add that in at the end because I just can't be bothered doing it right now. Because I'm already this invested into breaking down this basil. I love cooking, I do. Absolutely love it. Big fan of it. I get to eat at the end of it. That's honestly one of the reasons why I wanted to become a chef, because I like to eat them. If you're new here and you're from my shorts, which is where a lot of the recent attraction and engagement has come from, I used to be a professional chef. Not anymore. Now I'm a freelance videographer. So now I can combine my skills of making videos and cooking, which I really love doing, and it's something that I want to do forever. So yeah, that's a little backstory. And if you've got any questions, leave them down below, and I'll try to answer some. Right, so this is the last of the basil. Rip this up. I forgot to really add more pine nuts, so we're just gonna add all this in now. And this is gonna take a while, just because I've sort of filled it up now. Add more olive oil, and it's very important you get a very good quality olive oil. This one's just been decanted from the bottle because I have all my oils in bottles. It's easier to manipulate in the kitchen. But yeah, just get a good quality olive oil. You don't want a shitty olive oil. Alright then, so my pesto is looking fucking delicious. So everything's nicely incorporated now, and we're gonna add the cheese. Cheese in, and we're gonna need a little bit more olive oil because the cheese is actually gonna dry up a little bit with all these ingredients. Now this is quite a light pesto. I went very heavy on the pine nuts, not so heavy on the basil. But that's because I knew I was gonna be adding spinach into it today. It's a very nut heavy pesto this, and I'm very happy with that. Plenty of fresh black pepper. And a nice big pinch of flaky salt. All right, and that's ready to cook. So in the meantime, whilst I was doing this, when I wasn't filming, I boiled the kettle, ready for the pasta. Today, we're gonna be using this pasta. It's from North Yorkshire, a town very close to my home. My mum brought it down for me. It's from the Yorkshire Pasta Company, not a sponsored ad, just love their pasta. And also thanks Mum for bringing me this pasta. I love it. Always season your pasta water. Don't question it, just do it. Alright, so the pasta's cooking now, and we're gonna start cooking down some spinach. Get your pan nice and hot. We're gonna go in with a little bit of olive oil. I'm gonna go in with 1 handful of spinach, and 1 more as I'm serving for 2 people. This is gonna reduce down in size. As we all know, you get fuck all quantity from spinach once it's cooked, so don't worry about it being full. It's gonna cook down. We're gonna add the pesto in, pasta water, Parmesan, season and serve up. Little bit of salt, little bit of pepper. Okay, so the pasta's about 1.5 minutes away from being finished. We're just gonna start to add this pesto in. We're gonna go 2 large tablespoons per person and just a little bit extra. Turn the heat all the way to the low and just start to mix all this in. Okay, so because we're actually gonna add pasta water to this, instead of draining the pasta and adding it to it, I'm just gonna take a large spider thingy-mabob, whatever it's called. And we're gonna add the pasta directly from the pan into the other pan. This water we're adding is gonna help emulsify all the fats right now that are currently splitting in the pan and help create a nice, delicious little sauce. We can always add more water if we need to. And now we're gonna add another handful of Parmigiano Reggiano. A little bit of the pasta water. And we just start to mix all this together and to emulsify. Okay, and to finish this off, lots of fresh black pepper. And one last toss. Alright, and we can just serve this up now. Alright, it's looking messy, but it's gonna taste fucking amazing. Obviously, more cheese, more delicious. We know the rules by now. And yeah, that's a plate of pesto pasta with Nathan. Alright, so we've got to the end of the video and I'm going to announce the giveaway for the pan. Just to remind you, it is this pan. Well, not this exact one, I'm going to send you a brand new one. The winner is, and I'm going to put the comment here, Hayley2544. Hayley, email me, nathan@salderson.com. I'm going to reply back to your original comment with that email address. Email me, let me know you've won, and yeah, we'll sort out your delivery. Thank you everyone for entered. There was like over 160 entries. It's incredible. I am working on some more giveaways, but I'm also working on a better way to enter these giveaways that's a bit more interactive with you guys. Whereas, you know, I can get you guys to submit pictures and yeah, I'm working on a much more interactive way to do these giveaways. So Hayley, congratulations, email me. I'll send over your pan in the next week or two whenever we get this sorted. Just to let everyone know, Hayley has 2 weeks to claim this prize. If she doesn't claim it, I'll just give it away in another video. So Hayley, you've got from when I post this video, 2 weeks, get in touch. And yeah, thank you for everyone that's entered. Yeah, I think we've got to eat this now. Give it a rating. But I know someone who likes pasta a little bit more than me, so let's get her in. Babe?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's a big plate. It's a little bit hard, it's a little bit al dente.
Oh yeah.
Don't give it 10 out of 10, what are you gonna give it?
I'm gonna. Oh.
No, because
I
you're
want to give it a 10 out of 10.
No. What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? I like the pasta a little bit more al dente. I know you like it a little bit more cooked. We'll return it back to the pan after this video and cook it a little bit more.
No, it's fine. It's good. I love it. I love the spinach because that's my favorite.
The one non-proper ingredient in a pesto, but sure.
I love.
That's why we did the spinach today, because I know she likes spinach.
Actually, it's so good. I'm not a food critique for a reason.
Yeah, very happy with that. Guys, make your fresh pesto. What?
Spit all over my hand.
Your hand shouldn't have been in the way, should it?
It's disgusting.
Tell them to like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
And
please.
come back for
and
another.
comment and come back for another video, please. Thanks. Bye.
See you later.